All right, guys, we're going to get going. And just wanted you to know that today's morning ascent is sponsored by Inspiro Financial today. So I'm just kidding. Although, yes, we want to support them for sure. But I just noticed that right before I started, I'm like, hey, I got the Inspiro right behind me. So I decided that today's morning ascent is sponsored by Inspiro Financial. So they will be buying me lunch today. All right, here we go. Here's what we're going to talk about today is hopefully you got some great gratitudes and things written down. As always, would love to see any of those things or intentions in the chat box. Commit to the intentions, put it out there, and let people know what you're wanting to do. All right, here's what we're going to talk about today is I want to talk a little bit today about prospecting and give you some ideas of some ways that you can improve upon your prospecting. And as I was thinking about this morning, as I was getting ready and thinking about what I was going to talk about, I just kind of can't help, and I know you guys probably get sick of me talking about baseball, but I can't help but thinking about in terms of baseball right now, what is going on in the world of baseball is spring training. They are down in either Arizona or Florida, and they're working on their skills to get ready for the season. So if you stop and think about that, about the amount of effort and time they put into getting ready for the season. And so I just want to run through some of the fundamentals because that's what's going on with these baseball players right now is they are working on their fundamentals right now. They're working on how they approach the ball, how they're swinging, what it looks like. All of those things is what's going on. So Jerry, thank you. I appreciate that you never tire of it because I'm probably not going away from it. But so here's the thing. So in terms of your prospecting, first thing that I wanted to talk to you guys is about focus. Keep in mind that what is your focus when you are prospecting? What is it that you're focusing on? And so what I mean by that is I think sometimes we get into this um, habit, this ritual, whatever you want to call it, in terms of our prospecting, to where what ends up happening is that we go about it without keeping in mind of what the purpose of it is for. Meaning, sometimes I think what happens is we start prospecting just with the idea of that, well, I'm supposed to prospect every day, and this is on my schedule to prospect, so I'm going to go and prospect when we need to go back to, okay, what is the purpose of my prospecting? And the purpose of your prospecting is to set an appointment. So keep in mind that as you're prospecting, what you are wanting to try to accomplish in this is it is all about you setting an appointment. So don't forget what your focus is, because if we start thinking only in terms of making contacts or just getting on the phone and doing in a certain number of dials, then what ends up happening is that's what we end up getting. I love the story that Jason Carlson, the manager down in our Orem office now, that and Jason, who is either the first or second agent that joined Everest, that he talks about a time when he decided he wanted to make 100 contacts in a day. And so what he did is he jumped on and just started making contacts. And it took him pretty much the entire day to get the 100 contacts in. And at the end of the day, the number of appointments he had gotten was zero. See, his focus was on making contacts, and as a result, he got contacts. Our focus needs to be on, I am going to set an appointment today. And if you have that focus on setting the appointment, then you will have that take place. And what for me was always I don't go home until I set an appointment. All right, so that's the first principle in terms of our prospecting, thinking about getting back to the fundamentals of prospecting is you've got to have a focus on I am going to set an appointment. Then second thing, so that the way that we're going to do this, how you're going to be setting the appointments is number two. And the number two thing that we need to make sure that we are doing as we're prospecting is you've got to have energy and enthusiasm. Now, it's interesting to me to notice, and I'm talking about myself in as I say this, but I'm also going to throw in other agents as I sit and get the opportunity to hear them prospecting and making calls. Is what does the energy and the enthusiasm look like? See, I want to tie that back to the focus. See, when we're not focused on setting an appointment, when we're just kind of going through the motions of our prospecting, we end up not having the high amounts of energy or the enthusiasm to make the prospecting effective. So here's one of the things that I had written down about this. And to be honest, I don't even remember where I heard this from, if it was George or somebody, I don't know. Anyway, but here's what it was. Here's what I had written down is high energy and a high skill set, you're going to make a lot of money. So if you can have high energy when you're prospecting and a high skill set when you're prospecting, you are going to set appointments and you're going to see success from your prospecting. If you don't have the high skill set though, so maybe you're a newer agent or you're a seasoned agent but just really haven't spent a whole lot of time prospecting, calling people outside of your sphere of influence, then maybe your skill set isn't as high. But here's the thing, if you can have a high amount of energy but a low skill set, it will still work. You can still set appointments and people will want to talk to you. See, here's the thing, people are attracted to energy. Stop and think about it. People that you are tend to be attracted to, and I don't mean like in a romantic attraction, but people that you want to spend time with, that you're drawn to, are typically going to be people who have high amounts of energy. Is they are happy, they're positive, they have this aura about them that actually draws you into them. So I want to ask you and evaluate for yourself, how high is your energy when you are prospecting? Because whether you have a high skill set or a lower skill set, if you've got the high amounts of energy, and so for me, let me just kind of give you an example. Not long ago, I was down listening to and making a few phone calls with some agents. And while I was doing that, I noticed for myself that I was just kind of blah. I didn't have, meaning it was 100% for me of, okay, I told these agents that I would go listen to them, that I would stand there with them and prospect, but I really don't want to be doing this right now. And so I stood there and I made call after call after call, and I just kept noticing, man, like I was not getting good responses. And it hit me what I'm saying to you right now. Okay, I got to lift the energy up. I got to get a high amount of energy. And what I've found is if you can kind of even joke with the people, like when they make a comment, if there's some type of a spin-off that you can be like, wow, that, that was, you shut me down hard on that one, man. I haven't, no, congratulations. That's the best comeback I've heard all day. Something like that flips the mode in them. Do they realize, oh, this is just a real person that I'm talking to? I don't have to be I'm not on with a robot that's just following their script that isn't able to vary a little bit off of it. So that's what I guess I'm meaning, is have some energy and have fun. I guess really what I'm saying is smile while you're doing it and have a little fun. People want to be around someone who's happy. Think about it. I know for me, when I feel the negative energy, I'm like, I want out of this conversation. Like, I will from time to time even stand up and just walk away from, if I'm in a group of people that there is negative energy going on, I will just stand up and walk away because I'm like, it's dragging me down. So make sure you have that. Now, here's the thing. If you have a high skill set, but you have low energy, you are going to struggle in your prospecting. So keep that in mind. Low energy, even if you have a high skill set, you're going to struggle. I have listened to agents again that have very, very high skill sets. Some of the agents that, in my opinion, that I've listened to, that I would say that they are probably the best I have ever heard on the phone. But if their energy is low, you might as well turn it off. So, and that's not to say, well, oh, I've got low energy today, I guess I won't prospect. Instead, go, okay, I got to stop, do some jumping jacks, go for a walk, do something, get that energy back up, because high energy, whether you have a high skill set or a lower skill set, is going to work in getting you appointments. All right. So next, I don't know if I said focus was one and energy and enthusiasm or two, whatever one I'm doing next. So either number 2 or number 3, however you want to tie those together. The next thing that I wanted to hit on is this, and that is making a connection. So now that I'm ready to prospect, I'm focused on what I'm going to do is just set an appointment. I've brought my energy level up. I've got some music playing if that's what it takes, something to get your energy going. I'm ready to go. Now, when I get on the phone, that first about 7 seconds is going to be so crucial for you on the phone. And what has got to happen is, I like to think of it as, you have to earn the right to keep them on the phone. Are you earning the right for them to stay on the phone? See, part of that is tied back to, if they can feel the energy and enthusiasm, they're probably more likely to stay on the phone with you. So, do you have that there? And are you able to get a connection with them? Well, how are we going to do that? The way that I'm going to connect with the people, the way that I'm going to make them feel comfortable, or the way that we like to say it is, the way that I'm going to get them to allow me to lead them, is through creating this connection. And the way that you need to do that is through asking questions. Okay. So you've got to ask questions that they then are going to answer. Now, when they answer, everyone wants to be right. And in fact, almost everyone out there assumes that everyone eventually will figure out they were right. All of us think that. We all think that eventually everyone will figure out that my line of thinking was correct. So what we want to do in order to get that connection with them, and to get them to let us to lead them, is we need to ask some questions. After I've asked the question, then I need to repeat and affirm. So when I'm repeating and affirming, or Tony Robbins calls it mirroring, when you're going to do that, what you need to do is, you want to repeat back the last 1 to 3 words that they said, or so you're either repeating the last 1 to 3 words they said, or what I'm going to do is repeat the concept of what they said. Meaning, if they talked for quite a while, then you want to sum up what they have said back to them, so that they know you heard what they were saying, and then you want to affirm it. See, sometimes what happens is, I notice agents that will repeat and not affirm, or they'll affirm and not repeat. And we want to be repeating back so they know they were heard, and saying, "You're right. That's great. That's genius. You're smart to think that way. Hey, that totally makes sense to me." So we want to make sure we're repeating back to them, and then affirming to them that what they said was correct. Make them right. Okay. Now, the other thing that we want to do next, after that, in terms of getting this connection with people, is you've got to have empathy for them. And I love the way that Chris Voss says it. Chris Voss calls it tactical empathy. And what he refers to as tactical empathy is you saying to them, "It sounds like," or "It seems like." So part of what we want to do in this with people is, we want to be saying, after we've repeated and affirmed, then we're going to say something to them as, "So it sounds like," or "If I understand you correctly," or "It seems like," and then we're going to repeat back what we got from what they said. And what here's what will happen with that is, they're either going to say, "That's right," which is that's what your objective, according to Chris Voss, your objective should be to get your prospect to say, "That's right." Now, here's the difference though. What he says is, if they say, "You're right," your right is a way to get you to shut up and get off the phone. So when you get a "you're right" from them, you're off track with them. They're trying to get away from you. But if they say, "That's right," that's how you know you have created that connection with them. So make it your objective today to get people, while you're prospecting, to say to you, "That's right." Meaning, so what you want to be saying, "So it sounds to me like you're wanting to get this home sold for the highest amount of money, so that you can afford to buy that next property and get your family into that better scenario." What you're looking for is them to then say to you, "That's right." See, if they say, "That's right," now you know they're going to let you lead them. You know you have accomplished what you needed to. So that's the tactical empathy that Chris Voss talks about. But then, in terms of, for us at Everest, we always talk about our empathy as, "Hey, if I were you, I would feel the same way." So mostly where you're going to use this type of empathy, of to take away the combativeness that there is they need to feel that you're not judging them, that you're saying, "Hey, if I were you, I would feel the exact same way that you're feeling about that scenario, or about what you're wanting to accomplish. I would feel the exact same way too." So I want to challenge you today to work on that a little bit, is try to get people to say to you, "That's right." and see what happens in your prospecting when you repeat back, hey, it seems like, or it sounds like, or it feels like this is what you're saying, this is what you're wanting to accomplish in your real estate transaction or your real estate needs, and see if you can get people to say that's right. And once they say that's right, then see what happens. See where that conversation will end up taking you. All right, guys, probably a little bit on the short side today, but I just wanted to run through those fundamentals with you. Make sure you're focused on setting appointments. Make sure you get that energy up. High energy and a low skill set is going to work. High energy and a high skill set's even better. That's where the big dollars come from. But have that energy and enthusiasm, and then make sure you're connecting with people and find out by getting them to say to you, that's right. See, if you get a that's right, see what happens. And in fact, what I would love to have from you guys, if you will shoot me a text today, if you get that to happen, somebody in your prospecting today says to you, that's right, I want to hear about it. So either give me a call or shoot me a text. My number is 801 556 4441. So 801 556 4441. I would love to hear from a few people today of, hey, I got somebody to say that's right in my prospecting, and then here's what happened. I would love to hear about it. So either give me a call or shoot me a text. Tell me about how it went and what happened as a result of it. Would love to get the feedback on it. I love hearing the successes. Hey, if you have some that it doesn't work, I would love to hear about that as well too. But that's what I want to see you try to make accomplished today, is get people to say that's right, and then see what happens and let me know about it. All right, guys. Hey, thank you for being on with me. I appreciate your time. I love spending the time with you guys each and every Thursday, I guess it seems like is what it's been lately. So let's see. Tim's asking me what the name of the book is. Never Split the Difference. But there's a bunch of videos and stuff you can just find on YouTube where he talks about it as well. But he talks about that mirroring and tactical empathy, which is just awesome. So anyway, hey, thanks for being with me, guys. Let's close it up now with our closing affirmations. Go out and make it a great day. Get people to tell you that's right.